Hi guys! I'm pretty sure that it is evident from my videos if you've watched them before that I don't script my videos, I just sit and have a chat. But today's video is a proper sit and just have a chat to the camera. Usually I have a particular topic in mind, so it'll usually be about a specific TV show or whatever, but today I just wanted to have a general life chat because today is my birthday. So I've got another year older and hopefully another year wiser, potentially. And I just thought that I would take this opportunity to sit and just have a bit of a kind of life chat about things that I have learnt in my 26 years on the planet. What I thought that I would do was sit and list 26 things that I have learned in 26 years. But I started to go through that and I tried to kind of come up with a list, and I just was starting to feel like I was rambling nonsense and decided not to do that, and instead not make it 26 specific things but just say a few things that I have learned, wisdom that I would like to pass on from me to you, and hope that you enjoy it. I think one of the biggest things that I've probably learned over the past couple of years, rather than necessarily the past like 26 years, but specifically over the past few years, is that some people come into your life and they are not meant to be in your life forever, and that's okay. I think when you meet people and you bond with them and you form friendships with them, there's this feeling that they're going to be a part of your life forever, and in that intense initial period that's what it feels like, whether it is a boyfriend or girlfriend or a friendship that you make, whatever it is, there's this feeling that they're going to be this part of your life forever, and in a lot of cases that's not really true. That sounds really sad and awful, but sometimes it's for the best. I think some people come into our lives to teach us something about ourselves or about how we want to live our lives, and then once they have done that, they don't have to be a part of our lives anymore, and so we move on without them, and that's just something that you have to get used to. I think in a similar kind of line to that, I think that you discover the older you get that people change, and that's okay, but it's not necessarily always going to be a change that you change with. So some friends that you've had at school, or friends that you've had at university, or friends that you've made through work, or whatever circumstances it is that you've met someone and been really close to them for a period of time, as we get older, our lives change and our circumstances change, and we change as people. I am definitely not the same person that I was when I was 16, and I'm definitely not the same person that I was when I was 21. I've changed and I've grown, and things have happened in my life that have made me change, and that's okay, and that's good, and that's natural. And then there are other people in my life, friends that I've had from when I was really small, who as we've got older have changed into completely different people, and it's just not the same friendship anymore. I think we try and hold on to friendships sometimes simply because they're people that we've known for a really, really long time, and so someone that you've known since, you know, you were 6, you feel this sort of weird tie and obligation to stay friends with them because you have these memories together from when you were kids. But if you two aren't the same people anymore, and the only thing that's keeping you together is this memory from the past, and that in the present you're actually not the same people anymore, and if you met each other now you probably wouldn't choose to be friends, it's okay to let go of that, and it's okay to say, do you know what, we're just not right for each other anymore. That sounds like a romantic relationship, but it happens in friendships too, and it's okay to just say, do you know what, we're not the same people that we were anymore, and I would probably be happier in my life and you would probably be happier in your life if we weren't seeing each other anymore. This all sounds bleak, and it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be kind of empowering, because I think letting go of sometimes what can become quite negative friendships is a really important part of kind of growing up and becoming who you are as an adult. Speaking of which, adulthood. There's a lie. I think when you're growing up and you're a kid and you look at adults, you imagine that there's this point in your life that you will get to where something happens in your brain and it's like a switch and it goes, you are now a grown-up. That does not happen. Everyone still feels like, how has this happened? Like, how have I suddenly gone from being a child running around in the school playground and then being a teenager, you know, trying to figure out who I am, and then suddenly I am an adult? Like, I don't know, it's weird. It's definitely been a kind of shock to the system, I think, is becoming an adult and realising that adults don't feel like adults. Going back to the sort of friendship thing when it comes to adulthood, I think you make really strong, important friendships when you become an adult. But the thing about friendships when you're an adult is that they actually require time investment, which never was the case when you were a kid. When you're younger, when you're a teenager, when you're a child or when you're a teenager, or you're even in your early 20s, if you've gone to uni or college and you're studying, you don't actually have to specifically make time for your friends because you see them all the time anyway. So you see them at school, or you see them at uni or college, or if it's friends from a part-time job maybe or whatever, you're seeing them there. You don't have to actually make time to catch up. My friends and I, when we were younger, used to always say like, oh, let's catch up tonight, which always seemed ridiculous because you're not really catching up because we'd seen each other earlier that day or we'd seen each other yesterday, and you weren't really catching up, you were just hanging out. Whereas now, it is actually about finding time to catch up. Months and weeks can go past sometimes when you don't see someone because your schedules just clash. So someone maybe works in shift patterns that doesn't suit what you work, or someone has moved to another town, so you don't get a chance to see them regularly anymore. So it's very, very different, and you have to then actually work at friendships. That's why I think it's so important to make time for your friends, because it's very, very easy, I think, when you get older to allow a lot of time to lapse and pass by without catching up with people, and then suddenly you realise you've gone a year without seeing someone. I think one of the marks of really true friendships, however, is that with some people you can allow that to happen, and then the minute you see them, it's just like you just snap straight back into your friendship exactly the way that it was before. There are certain friends that I have, a few friends from school and then a couple of friends from uni. One of my best friends from uni lives in Australia, and so I don't see her really anymore, and that sucks. But I know that if I'm going through something or if something's happened, that I can send her a message and I get a message right back that just makes me feel better because it's Lynsey and she knows exactly what to say. And she's crazy and has always just been one of these people who you know you can turn to, and she will be completely honest with you no matter what's going on. And I think that that's really important. So I think that is a mark of a really important, strong, lifelong friendship, is that time can pass. And that's okay, and it's nobody's fault. It's just that you're busy and they're busy, and once you do catch up, everything's just going to fall straight back into place the way that it was before. Alongside spending time with friends, it's also super important to make time for your family. For me, that's probably easier because I do still live with my parents and my brother, and so I see them every day. But I think if you don't, then do try and make time to see them and spend time with them, because it sounds really bleak, but you never know what's around the corner. And that's definitely something that I've learned over the course of this year, is that you genuinely don't know what is going to happen the next day or that day, like today or tomorrow or next week. You don't know what's around the corner, and so it's so important to spend time with the people who you love and that are important to you. And you know, just even if you're just hanging out watching TV, that's okay. Just make sure that you're doing it, because you'll regret it if you don't. Another thing that I think I've really taken on board this year and over the past couple of years is that it's so important to just do what you want. And figuring that out is hard. It's not easy to figure out what you want to do with your life, and there are some people who seem to just have it really easy because they seem to figure it out really quickly. But for them, honestly, it's just luck. It's just luck. It's a case of being in the right place at the right time, or stumbling across something and making the right connection. And putting work things aside, I think in your spare time it's so important to do things that make you happy. Even if that is, you know, people sort of go, oh, don't waste time like, you know, binging on Netflix. But if binging on Netflix and watching shows and getting involved in them, like, we all know how passionate I am about TV. So for me, watching a lot of shows on Netflix doesn't feel like a waste of time, because it feels like I'm engaging with something that I'm passionate about. So I'll watch a show and then I'll go and make a video about it, or I'll write a blog post about it, or I'll talk to my friends about it. And that makes me happy. And so that's what I'm going to do. And that's what you should do. Whatever it is that your passion is, whether it is a sport, whether it is a blog or a YouTube channel, or cooking or drawing or photography, or whatever it is, just do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, just make sure that you're doing it. Make time for it. Again, I think it's one of these things as you get older, especially when you have a sort of full-time, intense job schedule, it can be very easy to let things like your hobbies slip because you just are too tired or you can't be bothered. But unless you're in a job that you are so extremely passionate about that it means everything to you, and every day that you get up to go to work you're excited and full of beans and so excited to be there, if that's not how you feel, then it's so important to have that fun, creative outlet somewhere else. So whatever it is, a couple of my friends have recently got really into planners, so they do the whole decorating their planner thing and everything, and they love that and they get so much joy out of that, and that's so worthwhile. So do make sure that you make time for your passions. I also think that as you get older, it's important to speak out about things that you think are important. So if you feel quite passionately about a certain topic or an issue, so for me, I do feel really passionate about feminism, so I will post things on Facebook, or I will tweet links, or I will speak to my friends about it and talk about it, because I think it's important to get involved in issues and things that mean something to you and really try to push for change, because we're only here for a short period of time, and if we can try and encourage positive conversations around something to try and make a difference, then we should do it. And the last thing that I had on my little notes on my phone that I did before I started this video was to appreciate the little things, and I think that that's definitely something I've taken on board the older I've got. Things like Instagram are super useful for that, and I know it sounds silly, but just taking photos of like what I had for dinner, or the new nail polish that I've bought, or the, you know, the pretty sunset, whatever it is, taking photos of these things. I think it's important to not always obsess over capturing a photo of it. Emma and I were talking about this recently, how sometimes we get so obsessed with capturing the moment to remember forever that we forget to actually enjoy the moment itself. So I think it's important to appreciate the little things in life. So as I say, a really sunny day, or the nice new top that you've just bought, or a fun trip to the cinema with your friend, or, you know, a really nice new cocktail you've never tried before. Whatever it is, just appreciate these things and enjoy them and make time for them, because they are the things that make up your week and make up your day and make up your year. And when you put all of that together, it's the things that make you happy throughout your life. So do take the time to appreciate the little things. I think that's really all that I have to say in this video. It's just turned into a bit of a rambly chat of me drinking tea and talking philosophically about how we should embrace our lives, but what can I say? It's my birthday, so I am feeling philosophical. So I'm going to go now. I'm going out for dinner with my family, so I'm going to go and get ready, but I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much to everyone who watches my videos, because I really do appreciate it. You know that, I've talked about this before. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having a great weekend, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye! To be doing, and so watching me reach that point where I made that decision that I was just going to do what I wanted to do and see what happened, that was quite emotional to look back on. So yeah, that was nice.